good? What's going on? What's good with y'all? Holla at your boy. It's me, your man, Trey the Commission. Y'all know what it is, what time it is. Thursday night football manifest. It's got my man, CC, the people's coach. I'm very sure Bishop will be on shortly. CC, what's good with you? What's going on with you this so far this
Oh
week, brother?
man, it's been an alright week. What's up with it? Lots of sports to talk about, lots of football, lots of them Lakers was looking pretty good till they ran into OKC last night, but I'm gonna leave that alone. They was
Or
looking
even,
alright.
yeah,
They was
the
looking
more we
alright in
learn,
the
the more things seem the same.
NBA. I'm just saying, Austin Reeves and Luca didn't look like they was on their game. It's one game though. It's you got 82 with basketball, so it's one game. They get a chance to redeem that, but the early eye test didn't look that good if y'all talking about contending.
One thing I can say in that is OKC might be the real deal.
He say Trey Turner Jamaican.
What happened?
I'm just reading the comment. Trey Turner Jamaican.
One thing we can say is forget what Anthony talking about. One thing we can say is
What a
that OKC might be the real deal. I mean,
might.
undefeated, thoroughly thumping people. Like I
Man,
don't know. I guess hopefully Palinka do his due diligence and get us some more pieces. That's gonna be able to somewhat thwart that or slow that down because 30 points, 34 points at halftime ain't the business.
no,
But
like
it,
actually being beat by 30 at halftime ain't the business. That ain't the business. No. Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
and that
It's
happened to us
one game,
twice.
but
Atlanta did that
that's
to us
one.
too.
Yeah, but you looking at contending in the West. Can Wimby them do that to y'all? Can like who else contending besides can Golden State do that? I doubt it. But OKC look like they look. You're right. They might be off and running early. We'll see what happens later on though. Um, I'm not sold. Okay, so what if I'm not sold on the Gilgis Alexander? What if I'm not sold on him? What if every time I watch him, he got the most basic game, and if you just go shoot 30 free throws, like he get all the fouls. If you just go shoot 30 free throws to get 30 points, then I don't know, man. Like
You know
they
how
can't
the
be
term
fouling him that
goes.
much.
You know how the term goes. Sometimes fast is slow. I think it's the same thing with SGA. Basically, like you said, basic game, nice and slow, not pushing the tempo for the most part, and then he has teammates that play defense. I mean, they
I
have
mean, I
been
ain't a hooper.
constructed.
I'm not a hooper, but I'm just saying he ain't got no handles. He ain't got nothing that all the great ones that we've seen in the past have. I mean, to be honest, I mean, like I said, I would if they played defense, then you would probably see a reduction in his scoring. If teams really played defense today, you would see a reduction, and then he would be what a 20-point score, a 22-point score if they really played defense. Like to be honest. Like James Harden had a better package than him, dribbling the ball, handling the ball, seeing the court, this, that, whatever. But you see, James Harden fell real quick when they took away all them fouls. Like his points went down. I think that's where Gilgis Alexander would be. I'm not knocking the man. Hey, champion, you did your thing, but I'm just saying, for me, for my pleasure, he ain't it. If that's what the superstars are gonna be, he ain't it. For real.
So last week there was a bevy of games that went down. Everything it didn't go well for where I say for me because in state I was only besides Bishop I was the only other person who of our teams that had a game. The Cowboys was on a bye. San Francisco took a L to a hot. It's crazy. I didn't even want to come out like this, but it's crazy that Mac Jones throws 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, but yet we get smacked by we get dropped a 40 burger on us. Like if hearing that, like Mac Jones played very well, and but yet it wasn't enough or near enough for us. It wasn't even close with the in state. San Francisco taking the L. last week. Let me see. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I thought they would take the L though. Yeah, I thought they
Oh
would lose
yeah,
that game.
yeah. So I mean, I hate to say it, but so did I. Last week should have been the time frame in which I definitely should have. Definitely, what happened is McVay learned his lesson from the first meeting and came back. Things hadn't changed, and it was like if the first time was on me, right? The second time is something different. If they would have sit up and did it, but of course, San Francisco got dispatched and handily by the score of 42-26. Where my box scores at? Leading Mac Jones 33 for 39. 33 for third. All he missed was three incompletes.
Right.
33 for 39, 319 yards, three touchdowns, one interception. Hearing that, you don't sit up and think that the team that they lost by 16 points in hearing that. Brian Robinson led the charge for the 49ers, 8 carries, 41 yards, and George Kittle, 9 receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown. Jawan Jennings, 6 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. Both of them on nine targets. And then Christian McCaffrey was 8 receptions for 66 yards on 10. But on the other side of the spectrum, Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams, both touchdowns. Both of them was under 100 yards received. But I mean, no, I mean, I saw know what it was. It was defense. Defense. What more could have happened? I mean, 3 yards. I mean, I guess there's nothing really can be said. San Francisco currently still leads the division as far as divisional wins, but the Rams have a better record, and I
I
think is a
think
top tier team in the NFC.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like McVay. But I'm still not convinced of the Rams. Like I'm not convinced of any team except the Eagles right now in the NFC. Like the rest of them, man, they can come and go. Like they beat y'all down and then they'll turn around and they'll lose to Seattle this weekend. Like this next game. So it's like, yeah, I'm not convinced of any team in the NFC other than the Eagles. And I hate to say that because as a Cowboy fan, I can't stand the Eagles. But man, they passing every test. They beating you 30 points. They beating you 10 points. They beating you whatever it is. Whatever the score is, you got less than them. like like they just smacking teams down. I mean, to be honest, it's baffling to me that I don't think the Rams. This is my problem with the Rams. Um, the Rams they don't run the ball well enough to. I mean, what they gonna do in the playoffs? Just throw with Matthew Stafford? That's not gonna win. That's the same thing that Buffalo been trying to do with just playing with Josh Allen, and they don't even have a talent like a Josh Allen. He can't break and run. Matthew Stafford not gonna break and run from the pocket. So in the playoffs, they're gonna be real limited until they find a run game. They better find a run game. They better find some balance. And I told you, I thought
So when you look at it, right? Yeah, true that. But I mean, go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
So what I was about to say is that take when you look at it, take in consideration that they're definitely two different things. True enough, Matt Stafford. I think you're the closest we can get for one. Secondly, but the Buffalo Bills might be more potent at the running back position. Kyron Williams, I don't think is a slouch, but James Cook has showed that he's very efficient in his duty as running back. And then when you look at Josh Allen to Matthew Stafford, is that a drop off? Like, I mean, we like you said, Matt
Like,
Stafford is not going to move the ball like you, but they're really both teams are going in a different routes, ways. With the Rams currently on top, even the AFC to the middle of the.
I was like, you keep breaking up. It's hard. I can't hear you. I can hear whoever in the background better than I can hear you. Like clear. Like you keep breaking up. But like you pause or something. Um, check it. The the Bills, the Bills gonna have the same problem that they had, man. I already said it. Josh Allen got a even with James Cook looking like he a decent running back, it's not enough. Like Josh Allen gonna have to do too much to try to get them to the Super Bowl. So they gonna fall short again because it's all on one man's shoulders, man. Like they haven't figured out how to balance that out. That's why Buffalo took a shellacking against Miami. If you stop they run, then what do they have? Like it's Josh Allen. You don't have no receivers. Like Buffalo, fifth year in a row. Well, you had Stephon Diggs, and that wasn't enough because Stephon came up short in big games. Let's just keep it. Let's just call it what it is. He dropped the ball in big games. I don't think he could play in that cold weather like that. Uh, but you need somebody that can play in that weather up there, man. I don't know who you get, but if I'm them, I'm going after Pickens after falling short again this season. Go after George Pickens, man, because you looking to being beat by the Patriots or the Colts or somebody, whoever you run into that's not Kansas City, because we're not even sure Kansas City gonna make it at this point. But yeah, it's like you're gonna fall short again because one man got to do too much. It's all Josh Allen. If Josh Allen don't play in a big game, then they not Buffalo not doing nothing. He can't catch on the other end of the by the way, he can't catch the ball. It's like I was talking about Jordan Love. Jordan Love, them receivers come up real small in big games, man. Catch the football, man. You get paid to catch the ball, catch the ball.
Speaking of Josh Allen, the Buffalo won all your games since he is it do you think Tyreek Hill was a problem? Maybe like the same thing in Philadelphia, trying to get Tyreek Hill the ball, they became ill effective, or what do you think that correlation is?
Um, I don't think is Tyreek Hill's situation is different because this coach was supposed to be a juggernaut and all that. I just think one, I always thought Tyreek Hill. I told y'all that years ago, man, when y'all first started this. When I first jumped on y'all thing, that Tyreek Hill wasn't the real deal. Like he had good burn in Kansas City and one good year in Miami. What does that tell you? He was not the real deal. Like he was too small. You could push him around, so that's different. I think I think the problems that you have with teams like you was talking Josh Allen, he's never had a receiver other than Stephon Diggs, who really, like I said, Stephon was fighting against. If Stephon could play in cold weather, it would be a different story. The guy clearly, he played up in Minnesota, but Minnesota got a roof. You know what I'm saying? Like all I'm saying is the elements are different. He clearly couldn't catch in cold weather. You put him anywhere in decent weather, he making plays. I think you're gonna see that with the Patriots too. That Stephon Diggs can't play in cold weather, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. I'm not saying he can't play. I'm just saying his hands all of a sudden don't catch the football in cold weather. They just don't. He just don't catch in cold weather. Um, so when you look at Josh Allen, they've never tried to put enough around this guy. That's why I'm saying, what kind of coach and GM do you have that you don't see this talent? It's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. You got all this talent and you don't want to put nothing around. You paid the quarterback all the money, but then you got to put some some elements around him that's going to win. And you know, and before I let you take it again, Trey, I'm gonna put this out there. I don't want to hear that. Oh, because I hear the experts say, oh, when the quarterback's got all the money, yada yada yada, then you can't do this. You can't. Well, how Kansas City been able to do it? How have they been able to do it for so long? So you can do it. You can do it without for real. You can pay the quarterback all the money and still have a team around him. We've seen Kansas City do it for what 5, 6 straight years, 7 straight years or something. We've seen Kansas City do it. So don't tell me you can't get that done. You can't get that accomplished. When they had a chance to sign Tyreek Hill, they let him walk. They let the big money receiver walk, and they brought in a bunch of pieces that can fill in. You know what I'm saying? Yep, we're not paying this guy all his money. You see, like Kansas City is the blueprint, but nobody wants to follow it. The Eagles' problem, the Eagles' problem, which I think that's what you asked the AJ Brown, is that AJ Brown wants to be the superstar. They don't really have a problem. They just got a problem with one guy who won't just admit I want the damn football. You know what I mean? He say this, then he back up. Now it's this and now it's that. Man, no, just say what it is. You want to go after the Hall of Fame and you want the damn football. And Jalen Hurts throwing 60 yards in a game is not going to get you to the Hall of Fame. Just say that, man. Just say it.
So is in that aspect, is he wrong, or basically, are you saying that he should be more of a team player, or he should have more of a team player mindset and get out his feelings?
No, I'm saying he needs to just play football and then wait. Wait till the season. They trade deadline over, bro. They didn't trade you. Now you an Eagle. Finish the season out and then worry about that in the off season. I mean, because what you're talking about is invalid that y'all still winning every game. You sitting up there talking about, oh, this ain't going to win, but y'all winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see if y'all was losing, then you got something to talk about, but y'all winning games. I mean, I don't. It ain't got to look pretty to win. You just keep putting up the dubs and get another ring. You might sneak in and get another ring. So when you get 2 rings and you ain't the center focus, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? I mean, I don't see it bad. Oh,
And Brian DeBall is out.
huh?
In New York, Don DeBall is out. I say in New York, Brian DeBall is out.
Yeah, they ball. Yeah, is that surprising though? Like, I'm not surprised. I mean, maybe at this stage in the season, yeah, maybe, but I'm not surprised. The guy's not a good coach, man. I'm, you know, I get tired of the guy's not a good coach. He had Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. Look at all the players that he had. Like he had a defense. He had every. Man, stop it, man. This guy can't. He can't coach to win a game. Like, and then he getting dark killed out there. Like you get in the future killed out there on the field. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's with the quarterback runs? What's with the? I mean, what's with the play calling? Like, this guy's supposed to be an offensive man. See, I'm sick of. I'm sick of the narrative being about these guys who are mediocre coaches talking about they great coaches. This dude had one good season, 10-6. 10-6 has
Mm-hmm.
been his best season, and you want to tell me he's a good coach? Where is that good at? like where? Like, what's the bar now? A good offensive mind doesn't make you a good coach. You got to coach both sides, all 3 phases of the game. You got to be in control of. And this guy, your offense, your offense is garbage. Your offense has been garbage. Like I said, you had Saquon. Now, granted, Saquon and Daniel Jones spent a lot of time hurt when they were the injured or whatever when they were
Mm-hmm.
the Giants. But here it is right here. How can tell me how can Kyle Shanahan still figure out ways to win games, at least enough games to be competitive, and these guys can't? Like, for real, like a good coach still figures out a way to get the most Trey, and we haven't seen that from Dayball since he was in a Giant, since he was the Giants head coach. All you keep hearing, what you keep hearing about? Oh, what a good job he did with Josh Allen. He was never the head coach. He was like a quarterback coach or something. What are we talking about? That's you know who he is?
Well,
He's Josh
that's what
McDaniels.
got him the job. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's Josh McDaniels. He's Josh McDaniels. Another for real. That's who he is. You know, Josh McDaniels, Belichick's guy, who's good. He's a great offensive coordinator, but he's got two cracks of head coach, and neither one of them
It was
panned out. That's what they.
a
That's
horrible
what they
coach.
ball
Yeah.
is. That's what they ball is, man. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, they get rid of good coaches." The guy was not a good coach. By what metrics? 20-40 was his record overall. I think 20-40. By what metrics is winning 33% of your games a good coach? On what level? They firing you in high school. I mean, they fire 20-40. But he's such a good coach.
So I mean, now that we're going to see now, what's going to really be the litmus test, of course, is if the Giants turn it around. Of course, we know this week Jameis Winston is going to be the starter. In that case, I feel bad for Russell Wilson because he was brought there to be the starter. Dayball basically benched him, or saying strapped him to the bench, and now Jameis Winston gets the opportunity to start because Russell Wilson didn't look. But what if it was What if Dayball was the reason why Russell Wilson didn't promise in Dart? But I would say this, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't one of Jackson Dart's strengths is the fact that he can be a mobile quarterback. So that's what Dayball employed. Is he wrong for using his strength, or you think he just went to the well too many times?
Well, when you ain't scheming well to block for the guy, look, watch Lamar Jackson. Watch how they when Lamar Jackson runs the scheme runs. Watch the blocking. Watch the play. Like you just turn the corner on your own, young man. Go out there. I mean, come on, man. Like you put Russell Wilson out there in the first place because you knew your offensive line wasn't that tough. Now you want this guy to go out there and run. See, I think Dayball would still have a job right now if he wouldn't have went to Russell Wilson at all. If he'd have started Jackson Dart from game one, we having a whole different discussion. We have, like why go to Russell Wilson who did absolutely? Russell Wilson had one hot game, one one hot flash, and they lost that game. So it's like, hey, Dayball, what are you doing, man? Like, go with your best weapons right out the gate. Like, man, that's like, I don't know. To me, it's not just him. It's the Stefanski. It's the Stefanskis of the world. It's not just him. Look at what the Browns are doing. You came out with Flacco, that didn't work out. Now you're going to Dylan Gabriel, that ain't working out. Like just put Shador Sanders on the field, man. Get the eye test, fill the stands up. I keep trying to tell you what the secret is. If you're gonna lose games anyway, might as well pack the stands. Let the fans see what they want to see. I mean, that's what it is. It's a business too. Like, do the business side of it, get the most out of it, and you might save your job. You know what I'm saying? It might just save your job. Like, for real. Just saying, man. Like, what do you have to lose when you already lost? Like, what are you preserving? It ain't your record. It ain't your reputation. It ain't your legacy. Like, that's already in the crapper. Come on, man. Put your Shador Sanders on the field. Sell some tickets.
So, all right. So let's do this. Since I'm about to go in, so we know tonight's game, Thursday night game, is basically the Cleveland Patriots face off against the New York Jets. So what we do is look at their games that they played last week, and then bring it back to this because we're about 30 minutes out from the start, so we can get our picks for this week and the inner Cleveland Browns or Bishop would call a toilet bowl game. Uh, in state, the New York Jets came out victorious by points. It was 17-32 for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brees Hall rushed 21 carries for 83 yards, and Jerry Judy with 6 receptions for 78 yards for Cleveland. Like I said, we know Garrett is out currently on a. I know you're just saying Shador should get a chance, but do you think it's because of Dylan Gabriel's gameplay in which they're not being successful, or you think it's the team in totality and putting Shador out there is going to be detrimental to him as well?
I think I think it's preparation. I think it's whatever, man. Like I said, like look, we they ain't got no receivers there. So either quarterback, whether you Flacco, whether whoever, you got nobody to throw the football to. So that's on the GM and the coaching staff to. But I think Dylan Gabriel's problem is no rapport with the receivers. Like you got to build some. Look, Bo Nix ain't great with the receiving core that he got. He got a little decent receiving core, but in the clutch moments, he know who to go to. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we coaching? Like in the clutch moments, you got to be able to get a first down here. So who are you going to? Is it a tight end? Is it like who are you throwing the football to? Like what's your strategy? What's your scheme? Like, um, I just don't see Cleveland. Cleveland, they always been a little off to me because they don't do that. But yeah, I think Shador get. I'm not saying Shador gives you the best chance to win. I'm saying Shador gives you the best chance to save your job and put
Give me some
seats in the
chance.
stand. He gives you the best chance to be a coach next
Okay,
year.
I get it. I get All right, I got it. On the other side of the spectrum, the New York Jets. Is it time for us to? Because we at this point, Justin Fields has played on 3 different teams. His most success was when he was in Pittsburgh. Do you think he has more in the tank, or is this the product in Justin Fields, and we might as well call it quits? He's not. He.
Um, yeah, no, Justin Fields. Um, No excuses, man. I got no excuses for him. I've been pulling for him. I pulled for him when he was in Chicago, pulled for him when he was in Pittsburgh. Even started off this year. Like Justin Fields, no excuses, man. I think you getting what Justin Fields is. I don't know. I mean, better coaching you could probably get a little bit more out of him. But do you really want to take that risk at this time? Like, what team would really want to take that shot at this time besides the New York Jets? I mean, other teams have found things that work. Maybe the Saints. I mean, I'm just saying, like, but that's going from worst coaching to worst coaching. Like he been a victim of poor coaching, but also he hasn't raised his skill level. Like, it's like, man, where's your progression? What are you seeing on the field? Like those different things. Like you got an arm, you got a cannon for an arm, but what's a cannon with no direction? It's just shots in the wind, baby. Shots in the wind.
Mm. I mean, I gotta agree with you. It's unfortunate, and I had high hopes. Justin Fields, like I said, at one point I thought Justin Fields was going to be a 49er. I thought that was looking for it. Maybe him under Shanahan might have been a different outcome for him. I guess we'll never get the chance to see that. But like I said, 2 game, 4 teams, uh, leading up to 2 of them playing on Thursday night, and that'll be the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they faced off last week, in which the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was handed another loss, dropping them to 6-3 on the year as they took an L to the New England Patriots, improving to 8-2 on the year, surprisingly, with the 28-23 victory over the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield was the leading passer with 28-43 for 273 yards and 3 touchdowns. Trayvon Henderson, 14 carries for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns, displaying that speed, top end speed. And then Trayvon's old teammate Ibuka, with when you look at the New England Patriots,
I know you're a huge May fan at this point, but is this coaching or is this players' abilities with their hot start right now? 5-0 in away games.
It's definitely part Mike Vrabel. 'Cause, it's part Mike Vrabel, but it's also Drake May. I told you last year I thought he was the most ready out of the rookies that came in, and he's showing it. He's showing he the most ready. Um, year two, year two, no sophomore jinx, no whatever. He's risen. His stock has risen. You know what I mean? Like we was looking at C.J. Stroud in his third year. Like, what's going on with this guy? Right? Like you looking at Drake May, he's ascending. Like it's his ability, it's his understanding to play the pro game. Like college is over with. Like he's making the adjustment to the pro game. He understanding the scheme. Like when you watch him, like when you watch his games before the snap, watch the pre-snap reads, watch the stuff. Now they limited him. He don't have all the full ability, but that's good right now where he is at the stage where he is. But he got the footwork, he got the arm, he goes through the progressions nicely. And not only that, they run the football. Regardless if it gains yards or not, they still turn and run the football. like they run the ball. And that helps any quarterback out when you decide to run the football.
Another game that was surprising, especially, and I called it. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. This is why I stay away from the Carolina Panthers. I said it when we made our picks that that we all picked the Carolina Panthers, and that was going to be the day in which the Saints was going to get a dub. And up jumps the Boogie. The New Orleans Saints gets the W, going from 1-7 to two. I mean, from 1-8 to 2-8, and dropping the Panthers to 500 on the year at 5-5, as they were able to get the W, 17-7 in Carolina. 19 for 27, 282 yards and a touchdown. Alvin Kamara, 22 carries for 83 yards. And then Chris Olave, 5 receptions, 104 yards, and a touchdown. We stated and said this was going to happen. Does this continue?
It's gonna be up and down for them until coach figuring it out. Team, young, relatively young team, not a bunch of old players on that team, not a bunch of vets. uh, in the starting lineup and stuff like that. So they gonna have their ups and downs. Like if you Carolina, you got to be excited about at least y'all got some wins this year. y'all 500 right now, so you got to be at least thrilled about that. Remember a couple of years ago, Trey, they were selling tickets for 89 cents. Remember they were selling tickets for 89 cents.
Correct.
So you
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
bouncing back. So if you Carolina fans, you got to hang in there. You got to ride with these ups and downs. I know it's ugly. Uh, unlike like the Saints, good win for the Saints though, because I was worried about y'all. Like it's shocking. I just want to put that out there. Ain't Kellen Moore they coach, the Saints coach?
Yes.
He was supposed to be this great offensive mind. Oh, he did this with Dak Prescott. Oh, he did this with Justin Herbert. Oh, where is that at now that he the man? Do you see any glimpses of it? Like, do you see any traces? No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't see traces of it yet. So, if you Saints fans, I'm gonna say benefit of the doubt. Kellen Moore, he's been around the league long enough. He'll probably get it right. But so far, his first year is like, man, what a mistake.
It's just like you just talked about with the ball and some of these players, Josh McDaniels, the Patriots, Josh McDaniels, that the offensive mind doesn't translate when it comes down to the head coach. Like at this point, Josh McDaniel was back in New England, and he's doing what he does. He's doing his thizzle, like he's doing what he did with Brady, what he couldn't do, what he couldn't do with anyone else in LA or Oakland, and what he couldn't do in Denver. This is what he's doing now. So maybe it's that. Just like we talked about the other McDaniels. isn't he was immaculate in San Francisco, but when he gets his own helm, then you have these problems. So I guess we're going to see how it all ends up playing out in due time. Another game you was just talking about earlier, schemes. The Baltimore Ravens faced off against the Minnesota Vikings, in which the Ravens were victorious by the score of 27-19, improving to 4-5 on the year and dropping the Minnesota Vikings to 4-5 on the year. I'm very sure this wasn't expected. When we take a look at these two teams, we can say the Ducks that it might have been a little bit different for Baltimore because they were without Lamar Jackson. But as I'm very sure you're going to point out, they did win with Snoop Huntley. J.J. McCarthy, 20 for 42 for 248 yards and a touchdown. Derrick Henry, 20 carries for 75 yards. And Jay Naylor, 5 receptions, 124 yards, and 1 TD. Is there anything surprising in the records for these two teams, in your opinion?
Very much so. Like I said, you remember I picked Minnesota. I picked the Vikings to win a division before when we did our
We did.
preseason picks, our early game picks. I picked the Vikings to win. I thought they would have another not 14-3, maybe 12-5, 13-4 or something, and they would challenge that North. But I thought their defense would be better since they could build um, some. I thought this year they would have had more camaraderie, more chemistry in that defense, but it didn't. They didn't gel the way that I thought they were gonna. Let's look at the Ravens. I think we all picked the Ravens to win that division. They still got a chance, but man, they started out in a hole.
We
Uh,
did.
I think for the Ravens, they underestimated early opponents. I'm just gonna put that. I know they had some injuries and stuff like that, but I really think they underestimated early opponents. Because if they come back and they run the table and they win that division handily, then you'll know that yeah, they just low through the first part of the season. They took some teams not serious enough. So you know, uh, but I think the Ravens got more of an upside than the Vikings right now. got more of the Vikings. It ain't looking good.
One of the games we spoke about earlier, in which we didn't go in depth into, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins currently 3-7 on the year after they just handily took care of the Buffalo Bills, who are now 6-3. Josh Allen was 28 for 43, 374 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Jalen Waller was the leading rusher in the game. Leading receiver in the game with 5 receptions, 84 yards, and 1 touchdown. At this point, can we potentially see a turnaround for Miami, or do you think it's just going to be spot?
I think they're gonna fight. I think they're gonna play hard from here on out because I think, uh, like I've given Mr. McDaniel's hell on this show. I've given him hell. But the truth of the matter is, um, he a coach in the league. He just saw what happened to the GM. He don't want that to happen to him. So he gonna make sure he does what he has to do to get his guys ready. Now whether they go out there and play the games, that's up to them. Um, I'm just my only surprise with Miami is that they ride with Tua. I think if you switch that quarterback, bro, I think you'll be on to something. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like I think if you switch Tua, I don't care how much money you paid him. Go to the next guy. You might be on to something.
The next game, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars were able to, we thought was going to be able to handle the Texans, in which it did not end up. Houston handily dispatched the Jacksonville Jaguars by the score of 36-29, improving to 4-5 on the year. The Jaguars are now 5-4 in the year. David Mills, 27 for 45 yards, 292 yards passing, 27 for 45 on completions, 2 touchdowns. Woody Marks was 14 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. And of course, Nico Collins, 7 receptions. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm tongue twisted. 7 receptions for 136 yards. A clean sweep for top players in that game. Is this the ascending for point for the Houston Texans, or was this just a division rivalry game and the Texans are exactly who we think they are?
Man, I thought that's another team I thought was going to win their division. Remember, we was talking the Texans. Nobody had the Colts winning that division. The Texans have underperformed this year for whatever reasons. Maybe it's a combination of injuries, losing the offensive coordinator, or whatever moves they've made. But yeah, the Texans have underperformed. That defense, the defense is still a top five defense though. So it's not on the defensive side that they've been letting down. Um, and the Jaguars, man, I told y'all, Trevor Lawrence is not the guy. I mean, I wish Bishop was here because he defends that guy. He's like sunshine, but sunshine ain't. Hey, the sun ain't shining in Jacksonville. like man, you can't beat a team that ain't got their quarterback. I mean, let's let this sink in. They ain't got C.J. Stroud. You can't beat that team. You can't figure out how to make. And if you saw the end of the game, I know Jacksonville's defense let them down, but they had the ball before that where he could have put some points on the board. I mean, come on, man. You can't. You turn the ball over in those situations. Trevor Lawrence, come on, man. Like 8 years, and this is eighth year in the league, 8 years, and you still ain't done it yet. You ain't gonna do it.
Hmm. So going on to
Hey,
the next game.
hey, Jacksonville. Hold on before you go to that game. Hey, Jacksonville. Blake Bortles looking pretty good right now. That's the last time they had a winner, right? As far as
Not
no,
Blake
they won a
Bortles.
playoff game. Trevor
Not
Lawrence won a
Blake.
playoff game. He won a playoff. I'm just saying, but he took him to the
Yeah,
AFC Championship
he
game,
did.
baby.
He did that comes facts. Is in the
I can't hear you guys.
pudding. Next up, in which the Cardinals now
Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully my man get back with it in a second. I think we talking about the Cardinals and Seahawks game, right? I think that's who they played, the Seahawks. I'm not looking at the schedule right in front of me, but I will say, there you go. Are you back? Are you back?
I'm here.
Okay, okay. Cardinals and Seahawks, right? That's what we were talking, right? Cardinals and Seahawks.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes.
how's that Jacoby Brissett thing working? I'm just saying. Like, you beat my team, so I'm not gonna knock you, Jacoby. And I think you better, you having a better year than Kyler Murray was having as far as moving the ball and stuff. But then you ran against Seattle. Seattle looked like they challenging for the throne. Like they looking like they want to be on the top spot. They want to be mentioned up there with the Rams and the Eagles and the Lions, and they doing a good job. I mean, hats off to Sam Darnold. We don't know what he's gonna do in a couple of weeks when the games are really, like when they running against a team that has a must-win vibe to it. So right now, hey, and Jackson Smith and Jigma, hey, I like that guy. That guy can ball. Oh, Kenneth Walker the third. That's my guy. Kenneth Walker the third. I actually like Kenneth Walker the third. I think they got two good running backs. What's the other one? Charbonnet. Uh, uh, they run two running backs. Charbonnet is pretty good. Yeah, Charbonnet. Uh, but Trey, I wanted to ask you a question about that division, the NFC West. You got three teams there fighting it out. You got three teams in the North. Oh, I guess he left. Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, you got three teams in the NFC West. Three teams in the North. 'Cause I'm sorry, man. I'm spoke on Chicago. Like Chicago is six and what four, six and whatever. Like
Chi-
Chicago
Chicago is let me see.
6 and 3 or
Chicago
six and
is
four, 6 and 3, I think. But they've
Chicago
won
is six
six
and
games.
three. 6 and 3.
Yeah, they've won six. They've won 6 games. They up a game. I'm not saying that they're gonna make a serious run because we don't know that yet. But Chicago is a surprise. But with those, what I was gonna ask you was how you think that's gonna pan out. Like that's like 6 teams right there fighting. That's that's 6 out of 7, and all of them can't make it because you got those other two divisions.
So I mean, it's just one of those things now where it's going to be suspect. It's going to come down to saying the best, may the best team win. And then right now, some of those teams are playing very proficient. What we know is the Rams. What we know is the four divisions is going to win that is going to get their just due. So when you look at that, you currently have the Rams in San Francisco in the East, but you have San Francisco. I mean, in the West, in the NFC West, but you have San Francisco and Seattle that's hot on their heels. Tampa Bay is running away with it in their division, so that's what it is. That's in state, and then for the most part, unless the Cowboys can turn it around, that's the same. We're looking at the same type of scenario in with Philly in the East. So it can, which is not boding well for, like you just talked about, teams like Chicago, because now Chicago is being thrown in the mix with the leftovers out the NFC West. And unless Chicago could turn it around and become, if so, next week, Philadelphia plays the Detroit Lions. If Philadelphia loses to the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears win their game, Chicago is now the division leader. And at that
Right.
point, all they got to do is hold on. So, I mean, it's a lot of that going on, and which is really getting crazy. The Lions we just talked about, they took care of the Washington Commanders 44-22, improving the 6-3, like you talked about. The Washington Commanders dropped this 3-7. Jared Goff 25 for 33 passing, 320 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jameer Gibbs 15 carries for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then interestingly enough, Jameson Williams, 6 receptions, 119 points, 1 touchdown. Correction, 119 yards, 1 touchdown. Detroit can get it going, but can they hold that? And like one of the things in which we discuss and which we see, and which we go over a little more, and you talked about when we first got on the show, Philadelphia has a defense. Like no one's looking at this and paying attention. Philly has a defense. They
Mhm.
held a professional team to 7 points. Philly has a defense, so it's going to get choppy, and what it seems like what's going to end up start happening is teams are going to start gutting each other. What we see in the SEC in college is what's going to happen in the NFC in the professionals. They're going to start gutting one another, and only the strongest is going to be able to survive, and usually the strongest is the division champions, and then the scraps is left for everyone else to fight over.
Oh yeah, it looks tough. I mean, um, Minnesota look like they gonna finish fourth in that division. When I had the Bears finishing last, uh, but it looked like the Bears. And I'm not gonna say Caleb Williams is looking like a star out there and all this other stuff. I'm just saying the Bears as a team are figuring out ways to win, no matter what the case may be, like a different star every week. Um, they haven't figured out how to play defense yet, but if they figure that out, but if you go score 47, I don't think you got to worry about defense. I don't think you got to worry. You know, you're not gonna drop 47 every week, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, Chicago looks like they turning the corner. Uh, for me, Detroit like not a big news is Dan Campbell's calling plays or whatever. And they put up 44 points with him calling plays. But like to me, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal because you still got Jared Goff, and Goff has been to the Super Bowl. So for me with Detroit, it's Super Bowl or bust. It's I don't care where you end up in the playoffs, just get in, and you're supposed to make that run. So I'm not worried about Detroit. The teams that I'm worried about is the Rams and Seattle. You cannot let those darn 49ers win that division. You cannot let them win that division.
Brock Purdy comes back this week. Finally, he's back. It's coming against a formidable, a good matchup, I guess, in Arizona. So we're gonna see how that goes, especially with the Rams in Philly playing against each other. I mean, the Rams and say Seattle playing against each other. That's a good look. So it makes our job a little easier. All we got to do is go and win. But two more games to talk about before we get to our picks, right? One of those two games is going to be. Let's talk about the Eagles, right? We talked about them a little bit, but they were 7-2, currently ahead in the AFC. I mean, just sitting underneath in the NFC in general in the conference. 7-2, 4-1 at home. Away. And then the Green Bay Packers dropped to 5-3-1, but they took the L 10-7. Of course, in that game, Justin Hurts was 15-26 for 183 yards and one touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 21 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown. And, of course, Devontae Smith was 4 receptions, 69 yards and a touchdown. Nothing that's eye-gouging stats. But, of course, you take into consideration the score was 17. The Eagles' defense, as stated before, held them to 7 points. You discussed it earlier in the game when we first got on that it wasn't you can't blame Jordan Love if your receivers ain't catching the ball. What more can you ask for? What more can you say? What more can you do? I think you said it, but is this the top tier, the championship bearing team in the NFC? Is that who we going with, the Philadelphia Eagles, or are they just it right now?
I mean, right now is all we got. The regular season. I don't know what the postseason is gonna hold, so I'm not gonna start speculating now. But I'm saying right now, the Eagles beating everybody in front of them. Like they two. If you take they two losses, the one to the Giants, that's a division rivalry game on a Thursday night. Anybody can get caught slipping on a Thursday night, as we've seen. Like anything can happen. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets beat New England tonight because of that division rivalry thing on the Thursday night. And then they also lost to the Broncos, who are dominating over there in the AFC right now. They got a great defense. So you lost to a defensive team, like the number one defensive team in the league, and you got beat by a divisional opponent. Other than that, all the other what they call it, the litmus test, you passing
Yeah.
all the litmus tests. So right now, you got to say the top dog in the NFC is still the Eagles.
And then the other game. Oh wait, before we go to that next game, what did we say about Jordan Love and his like? Of course, he's supplanted. He ain't supplanted in the aspect of put up wins, records, and stuff like that. But he's a bit of fresh air for the Green Bay Packers after Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers have gone. Do you think that Jordan Love has hit his ceiling, or is he going to get better?
Well, remember, Aaron Rodgers had the Donald drivers early on. He had Brett Favre's leftovers early on. Then he found Devontae Adams. Once once Jordan Love finds his Devontae Adams, once he finds a receiver, if they can keep healthy receivers, Dobbs been in and out of the lineup. Golden was supposed to be it, but I ain't even see him play this last game. You throwing the football to Melton. I think he was a quarterback. You throwing the football to a quarterback turned receiver, that Melton kid or whatever, man. Y'all, what are
Mm-hmm.
we doing out there? Right now, you just got Lafleur got to find a receiving core for Jordan Love, and they'll be fine, man. Or somebody got to step up. I'm urging the receivers in Green Bay to step up, or else, because Lafleur called a good game in my opinion. Guys were wide open. It wasn't like the Eagles was playing better defense, but it wasn't shutdown defense. Dudes was open on those third downs. They just couldn't catch the football.
And before we move on to the next game, I forgot to go back to Washington, the Commanders. Um, Mariota's in as a backup. Now he's a starter. Jaden Daniels currently out with the dislocated elbow. Um, is there in your opinion, is their season salvageable at this point, or should they be packing it up a little bit and kind of like looking to next year?
I think before Jaden Daniels was hurt, they was packing it up. They was packing it in. I think it's over. And this ain't the first time, yo. This ain't the first time we seen this up and down roller coaster thing from Dan Quinn as a head coach. By the way, we saw this in Atlanta. One year they contenders, the next year they don't make the playoffs, and the next year they're in the Super Bowl. So just take the ride. If you the Commanders, just take the ride with Dan Quinn. You'll be all right.
And of course, the last game before we get into our picks for tonight, former quarterback of the Green Bay Packers we discussed before, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers traveled to Los Angeles and SoFi Stadium to take on Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers, in which the Chargers had a pretty good game, winning by the score of 25-10, improving to 7-3 on the year. The Pittsburgh Steelers still just so far away, so close, but yet so far, dropped to 5-4 in the year. Justin Herbert, 20 for 33, 220 yards passing on one touchdown. That kid Vidal, man, he is a thumper. He is a runner. He is showing that you don't have to be a top tier talent coming out of anywhere. You ain't got to be a Heisman hopeful. You just got to be a grinder and someone that plays the game. 25 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown. Lad McConkey, 4 receptions, 107 yards, and a touchdown on the year. I mean, on the in that game, he got ran down by Jalen Ramsey when he probably should have scored. He should have kept running. He slowed down, tried to go around him, and he made the tackle. Is it over for Aaron Rodgers in your opinion?
Yeah, I think he said. I think Aaron Rodgers pretty much said it was over after this season. But remember, before the season started, I was telling y'all Pittsburgh, man. I don't know. They waited for this guy, and then the outcome is about to be the outcome that everybody pretty much expected when you got this guy. Like I wouldn't count. I'm not gonna say Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh ain't go. If they let the Ravens tie it up with them, if they lose a couple of more games, the Ravens gonna take that division from them, and they gonna be sitting outside, not in the playoffs. And I think Aaron Rodgers can go ahead and retire, man. Like it's not all Aaron Rodgers' fault. Like you got to put this on Mike Tomlin, man. You can't put this on Aaron Rodgers. You got to put this on Mike Tomlin. You got to put this on your guy that never had a losing season. You got to put it on him.
I mean, there's a reason why he ain't had a losing season.
You got to put it on him, man. Like, yeah, but it's all been, I'm gonna use the old school expression. It's all been fugazi because, like, it ain't been, like since 2011. What was it, his last Super Bowl or something? Well, maybe 2013 somewhere in there. A couple of AFC Championship games, maybe even 2015. But the last decade ain't really looked that good for Tomlin in the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's not on Aaron Rodgers. That's an indictment on the whole organization. And we know who pretty much calling the shots there, and that's Mike Tomlin. He just makes bad decisions, man. Like like when it comes to putting a winning thing out there to win long term, he makes bad decisions. And nobody likes to admit that about that guy. Like everybody just wants to point to, uh, he's never had a losing season, but he makes bad personnel decisions all the time. Mason Rudolph, where you at? Mason Rudolph, where you at? Because he down shoulder start Mason Rudolph before he'll go get a real quarterback, before he'll draft a good one.
So tonight's game, the New England Patriots hosting the New York Jets. Is there any possible way the Jets take care of business? And what you said is possible. It's a Thursday night game. New England's on a high horse. Do we see any possible chance in the New York Jets coming out victorious?
Uh, I'm not taking them if that's what you mean. I'm going with the Patriots, but it is a chance. I wouldn't be surprised if the score is like low. I wouldn't be surprised if tonight's score is 10-7. And and that could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised. Like they know each other. Uh, um, they play each other twice a year, so it's a division rivalry game. I think the biggest thing is no letdown tonight by the Patriots. Man, get it over with. Like come out, execute, and be done with that. Like don't get caught into that back and forth with the Jets tonight.
Glenn versus Vrabel. Um, it hasn't been all roses and peaches and cream for Glenn as his start as the New York Jets starting head coach. Um, Initially, like we talked about before, there were some games in which the New York Jets was just on the cusp, like they should have won. They're saying had a play gone a certain type of way, they would have won and they would have a whole different type of fortune. However, although we know we're going into the Halloween, correction, the Thanksgiving season, and just left the Halloween season. In the words of Freddy Krueger, I don't believe in fairy tales, kid. And so that's no different for Justin and these Jets versus New England. I think New England is probably who they're being advertised as. It's probably going to be a dogfight. Honestly, when you look at it, like I said, it's a rivalry. You know what I'm saying? It's a division rivalry. So you know what I'm saying. You usually stand up for stuff like that, but New England has been very proficient in their duties as a top tier team, and I think they continue that. I'm taking the Patriots as well. Bishop text, of course, in our text group, and he's taking the Patriots as well. So that's a clean sweep. Shout out to Bishop. I think he was 9 or 10 games last week. So you know what I'm saying. So he took care of business last week, kind of like improving his picking percentage. And then additionally, we have another game in which the early game this week, the Miami Dolphins facing off against who was the Washington Commanders. Um, I'm going with the Miami Dolphins in this one. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins for the early game. So I got the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins for the first two games of the start of the week one.
And this may not come as a shock, but I'm going second that. I'm going to take the Dolphins for the first time this year. Um, I, I'm just going to take the Dolphins. I think they got a little bit of momentum, and I see like unless the Commanders come out with a different approach, I think the fire has left a building. I think it's left. I think it's left them. It's left their eyes. It left their building. Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins.
And
Hey
Bishop has
Trey.
Bishop hasn't let us know yet who he's choosing, but I'm sure he's going to probably go with the Dolphins as well. Uh, the game is getting ready to go. Of course, y'all know where to find it. It's 10 o'clock Central Standard Time on Sunday as we get back to it, continue our coverage or talks in week one. Um, the, the the CFP came out, and we still have the same 5 teams that we had last week that's in there. I know it was a mixed talks about the prospects of Texas A&M jumping Indiana, but somehow Indiana has been able to hold the line and continue to be the number 2 team overall. But we'll see. It'll continue on. 9 minutes till the kickoff. We got the picks in. Y'all got what we thought. Feel free anytime to hit us up in the comment sections and give us your thoughts and anything else. CC, any last words before we get out of here, brother?
Yeah, a couple of good college games Saturday. Since we won't be back on till Sunday. Uh, Hook 'em horns, man. I'm pulling for you to beat Georgia this time. They beat us twice last year, so this time get them. The Alabama OU game. I wish Bishop was on the show to let him know that I'm riding with Ty Simpson in that one. Ty Simpson over what's his name, Mateer. I'm taking
Over
Ty Simpson over Mateer in that.
Batir.
Yeah.
I think we
Oh,
played Michigan.
USC got a big game, right?
Yeah, yeah, we got Michigan. No, not Michigan. We got Oregon, I think.
I think y'all got Oregon.
Yeah, we got
Now
Oregon.
that hey, Oregon is on upset alert. I'm not switching for USC. I'm just saying they on upset alert with USC. USC got a little bit better defense this year than they've had in quite a few years. So hats off to Lincoln Riley for that.
Yeah, he hired Lynn from UCLA. And now he got a chance to develop him. So we're gonna see how that goes. A top tier opponent maybe gets us into the top 15 with the dub. Maybe depending on what everyone else did. A top 10 depending on what's going on. Currently, they're number 17, so they climb in 2 weeks from not being ranked to being number 17 in CFP. We're gonna see if we can go get it a little bit, get a little more love, and continue to climb up those charts and put ourselves in position to be one of those at-large teams. Um, One thing I say right before we get out here, I want to talk about the disrespect for the ACC, in my opinion, or is it ACC or the AAC? In any case, the fact of um, they can be or Miami, right? Miami's currently sitting at the top of that conference, and the fact that they will be a number 12 seed as opposed to a 5 or a 6, I think is so atrocious when it comes down to that. I look at there's a big five. Technically, there's a big five when it comes down to the conferences. That's the ACC, the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12. Oh, correction, there's a Big Four because the what's called is no longer currently they're no longer relevant. It's the Pac-12. Although the Pac-12 is coming back, so are they going to delegate the Pac-12 to be a mid one of the other five when they come back? That's unfortunate. But in any case, the ACC, the SEC, uh, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 are the top four, the Big Four. Um, why not give to sit up and have it to where a ACC Miami team would get a 12 seed as opposed to being one of the top 4 seeds as a division, as a champion, as a conference champion? I don't think that's fair. What do you think?
Well, I think because what I was understanding, I thought South Florida, who leading their conference, I want to say Conference USA or whatever conference they in, I thought USF was going to be that number 12 seed, and Miami
You
would
might
be
be right.
somewhere like
I could be incorrect. I'm going
10
to
or
check on the
yeah,
facts right now.
Miami would be 10 or 11 or something. But at the same time, you're right. It is low. It is low for conference winners to be that low. Um, and I don't know why they have it set up that way. But I think if you don't win your conference, you should get the lower seeds automatic if you don't be in the playoffs. And I think all if they just set it up where all conference leaders just get the like you get the top seed, then I think you play at home first. Like the competition would be different. I know they play neutral fields and all this other stuff, but at the same time, you get another team momentum. I think you take momentum away from a team who busted their tail to win their conference, and
Because
then you give them such a low seed.
when I look at it at this point, you shouldn't be there. There shouldn't be no expectancy for you to do anything if you're a conference champion, because
Right.
like Ohio State, Indiana, like in Ohio State and Indiana, both aren't going to be able to hold on to the that number one, number two spot unless they basically take consideration that they're going to play in the Big Ten championship game, and they're just going to let one of them hold on to it. So that's at that point, and the same thing for Texas A&M and Alabama. They got to play each other. If at this point, if they continue on this trajectory, they're going to play each other. So when they play each other, what happens? Do they continue to hold on to the number one through number 4? If that becomes a rhetoric at this point, what happens if they lose? They should lose and they should go on, and the other teams that have been cooking should be able to step up. In this case, we're looking at a number 5 Georgia, who will be a runner-up at this point. 06 Ole
Mm-hmm.
Miss, of course, they're SEC teams, so that's going to have its own thing because if the Texas A&M and Alabama end up playing each other in the SEC championship game, that means they was number 1, number 3, and number 4. So why should any of them climb up into the? So it's a lot of stuff that's going on there that doesn't make sense to me. And then of course, you have Notre Dame, who's an independent that's lurking. That all they got to do is continue to win, and then they're going to put themselves in positions. And then you got Oregon and Texas Tech, and the Texas Tech being the first Big 12 and only Big 12 team. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Texas Tech. Well, because BYU lost. Because BYU lost to Texas Tech.
And they're
That's what
currently at
happened.
number 10. BYU currently at 7. I'm sorry. BYU's currently at 7. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. We'll see how it ends up playing out. But it's still flawed in my opinion.
Well,
And there's
it's
probably
gonna be.
Go ahead.
It's gonna be Trey when you got 100 and something teams, 90 something teams to try to figure out. But then you taking these conferences. That's why I was like, I would like it better if they didn't do like I don't mind the conference championship games, but figure out another way. Maybe you should play conference champion against conference champion or something. You know what I'm saying? And then you do a process like that to start eliminate, to clean to get some clarity because Ohio State then played. Ohio State they've only played one ranked team, right? The only ranked team they played was Texas at the beginning of the year. They haven't played a ranked team, but they number one. But they number one in everybody's poll. And yeah, they haven't played for one ranked team. Like OU gets a bad rap, but they played more ranked teams than Ohio State than the number one team. So I don't know how they figure that out.
And we'll be here for it. We'll continue to listen, and hear what they say. We should say a damn tie. We'll continue to listen, and hear what they say when it comes out to it. In any case, we'll be back with y'all on Sunday, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. The whole crew should be here. And we'll go forth and see how that go. So till then, greatly appreciate y'all. Y'all go check out Thursday Night Football. Check out on Prime. And we look forward to see y'all on Monday. Peace.